Hello, class. How are you guys doing? I'm away, as you can tell, but even while away, I've been thinking about you all and just wanting to review some things that we've been going over with JA Biztown. So you can watch it maybe while with Mama Ellen, or even maybe while you're at home, one of the adults at home can let you watch this. So, we've been talking about paychecks and depositing them and writing personal checks and making debit card transactions and recording everything in our transaction registers. So, I just kind of want to review some stuff and put it in order so that we don't forget. So thus far, we've learned that when we go to J Biztown, we're going to get a job. We've already been assigned a company, but you're going to be assigned your particular job. And from that job, you will get a paycheck. And you're going to get paid, I believe, twice from your paycheck. The first time you get paid, it will be a paper check, as we talked about your actual paycheck. And if you recall from your citizen's guide, we went over a paycheck has some basic information, and a paycheck has the date that you're paid, your name. Your name would go on the line that says pay to the order of. So in my case, it would be pay to the order of Michelle Johnson. The paycheck is also going to have the bank from which the paycheck was drawn. Additionally, your paycheck will state the amount that you're getting paid, and it's going to be written both numerically and written out in words as well. And again, it will be signed by the CFO. And what is the CFO, you guys? Yes, the the chief financial officer. So after you get your paycheck, we also then talked about depositing that paycheck. And remember, there were a couple of ways we could have done it. The really, really easy way would have been for your employer to give you a form to enroll in what we call direct deposit. And that is where the funds will be directly deposited into your bank account. The other way, the more traditional way, was to actually take your check to the bank, which that's the process we really need to understand. A lot of people still use it. Taking your paycheck to the bank and making an actual physical deposit using a deposit slip. Now, we went over how we're going to deposit that paycheck using a deposit slip. First, on your paycheck, guys, remember that we're going to flip it over on the back, and there are lines on the back. If you can flip to your citizen's guide, and find the page that references that, we do what? When we put our signature, not printing our name, but when we put our signature on the back of the check, what do we call that? Yep, endorsing the check. So you'll endorse the check, and then you'll put your account number on that check. Please excuse me, my kids are a little loud in the background. After you endorse it with your signature and your account number, you'll then be filling out the deposit slip. And the deposit slip may look a little confusing sometimes because it kind of looks like a check, but it's not. It'll say deposit ticket right on the top. And again, this is like your communication with the bank. You're letting the bank know what you're depositing. So you're going to let the bank know on this deposit slip that you're depositing a check as opposed to currency. If anyone remembers what currency means when you look at that deposit slip, you get 100 points. Just kidding. Currency was actually dollar bills, and the coins would literally be the coins. So with that, you're going to go ahead and put that you are going to be entering an actual check, in this case your paycheck. And if we want to get some cash back out of our check, what do we call that? We're going to call that the less cash line. We're going to put that in. So for instance, let's say my paycheck is $10 and I want to get $2.50 out of that. I'm going to write that on my deposit ticket under the area that says less cash. And then because I'm asking for cash back, there was something particular I'm going to have to do with the deposit ticket. And if someone can remember that, they're doing awesome. Can anybody remember what you have to do to the deposit slip if you're getting actual money back out of the account? You have to sign it. Yeah. because otherwise anybody can make a deposit for you. But yes, if you want some money back from that $10, which I do want $2.50, then I'm going to now sign it. And then what's left will be called my net deposit. That is the actual amount that is actually going to be deposited into my account that day. So $10 minus $2.50 will leave me, simple math, guys, $7.50 is what's going to be left as my net deposit. I hope you're all following me thus far through these steps. So once we now have a net deposit, we have some money in our bank account. The other things we went over with is actually how we are going to be spending that money. And we talked about a couple of different ways that I can spend the money that's in my bank account. I have $7.50 now. So I want to go and spend money in the economy. So let's say I wanted to buy a birthday card. I think that was the example that was given. I want to buy a birthday card from a particular business in town, and now I'm not going to use a paycheck because I don't write paychecks. I'm the employee. I'm going to use a personal check. I'm going to use a Michelle Johnson check to write a check to the card company or the stationery company. Let's pretend I'm going to buy one from Hallmark if there was one. So I'm going to go to Hallmark and I'm going to buy a birthday card for one of my kids, and I'm going to pay $2 for that birthday card. I can write my personal check. I would make it out to Hallmark. I would write numerically in the box on my personal check $2.50. Then I would also write out in Word format $2 dollars, DOLLARS, that long line, $0, 0 cents. $2.00 out to Hallmark. And in the memo section, if we recall, the memo section of our checks will tell us what the purpose of the check is for. And in this case, the purpose of the check is birthday card. So there we have it. And I am signing this check. And I hand it over to the people at the store, and they'll do the steps like we did when we deposited our paycheck, right? And another way I can pay for this birthday card is by using an electronic kind of payment. Remember, guys, I can have even a debit card, and I can just simply slide the card, which you see people doing most of the times these days in stores, to pay for this $2 birthday card. But guys, the most important thing I need you all to remember is that every single thing that we've done, we're recording it simultaneously, meaning at the same time as it happens, or contemporaneously as it happens, as it occurs. We're writing these things down in our transaction register. Remember that thing where it shows you the opening balance and there's white lines and gray lines? We need to record everything. So what we just talked about today, I told you, I got a paycheck for $10. So I need to record that in my transaction record with the date, and that it was my paycheck and the date that I got the paycheck, and it needs to go on the deposit side on the transaction register. I told you that I also took out $2.50. So we need to record that. And one of the ways they showed you to do that is rather than write $10 as the deposit, they showed that you can actually write $7.50 as the deposit, because that's how much was actually deposited that day. After that, I told you I went and bought a birthday card for $2, made my check out to Hallmark. I told you I wrote a check, so I need to write the check number, which is at the top of the check. I need to write Hallmark as who that check was paid out to, of course, the date that I wrote the check, and the amount in the column that will say debits or payment. Make sure you're putting a minus sign with it, showing that that is $2 coming out of my account. And again, we want to keep doing the math as we go along with that, because we never, ever, 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 ever in our life want to write a check or make a debit card transaction, sliding our card for things, and we don't have the money in the bank to back it up. Because if you write a check and you don't have the funds, then you'll be in a bounced check situation, which is horrible. And you had a homework assignment about that called Gordon's, not Jordan. Sorry, Jordan. Love you, Jordan. Gordon's bounce check, and that can just cause a myriad, like plethora of problems if you start doing that. So I hope this has helped. Please feel free to replay this several times and look at the pages as I'm talking about it to just familiarize yourself with the process. I know it's a lot of information, but you guys are really smart and you have great young memories. And once you have this committed to memory and you understand the process, it's going to make JA BizTown Days so much more fun and exciting and enjoyable for all of us. So I'll see you guys next week and talk to you soon.